Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. Today we're off to the weekly races, and within that we're off to Europe. This is daily race 3, currently residing at Spain, Barcelona, Catalunya. This is the World Rally Challenge, for which you can see we finished in first place because we did that previously, and we've just done a test run with the car. What I'd like to show you today is ultimately how you can win this without traction control and with traction control. It's not impossible with traction control if you find World Rally car handling just a little bit difficult. So I've also got another video which I'll link at the end, which will allow you to understand how to handle a rally car on a rally circuit, which will just give you an overview of where speed and braking is required. But with this one, we're going to choose the car. That car we've already chosen, which is the Ford Focus rally car. It comes in 631.86 pp. There's no PP guidance, so effectively whatever you can do to the car, you can do to it to make it win. So as it is, this I believe is 100% default. I've not really made any changes. So fully customizable suspension on dirt tyres, everything is default, nothing changed. Fully customizable diff, I've not made any changes. You can change the torque, front and rear torque distribution as much as you wish to suit how you handle the car. Downforce at the front is the maximum at 150. Downforce is on the maximum at the rear at 250. No changes to the ECU. We've got a fully customizable manual box set to 350. You could actually go and buy the racing, but I haven't done that. Not really felt the need to at this point. High RPM turbocharger. Everything else is default. The brake control is there. You can affect the brake balance if you want to. And there's no other changes. So I have seen people asking for help. For those of you that have never been here before, this is the World Rally Circuit at Catalunya. It's more known by other names like Autocross or Auto Rally or whatever sort of guise it is. It's a mixture of tarmac and dirt, where the cars are normally high-powered, small, what we'd call hot hatches in the UK, but the game has developed other models. So you've got the Mustang, you've got the WRX from the older, like, Hawkeye variant. I would suggest the only car that you can't really use here, that you'd probably want to, is the Escudo. But you've definitely got the Audi Sports Quattro S1 Pikes Peak car, and you've also got the other one, which is the Peugeot RCF. It's the RCZ, sorry. Any of these cars would be great, and it's a great way to get about the game. So, settings in terms of assists. We're going to do the first race, traction control 1, ABS on default, everything else off. We're not going to add anything else. And this is for those guys that really are struggling with getting to grips with the car, where it wheel spins, where it drifts, it slides. It's still going to do that with traction control 1. And it's actually much more stable, but it is harder to complete the race. So let's see how we go. Settings for the wheel. Controller settings are going to be steering sensitivity 5, force feedback max torque 7, force feedback sensitivity 7. Word of warning, on a G29, World Rally or rally cars or whatever, have this thing of making the G29 vibrate like hell. So maybe on other driven wheels, if you're doing this at the dark late at night with young families, probably not a good thing. Turn that force feedback down and take away some of that crunch. But for those of us who are older, no kids in the home to worry about, a wife that's fast asleep next door, let's just go for it and see where we go. So the start of this race, you're off circuit. It's like an off surface particular start line, and there's no fault start check. So just accelerate as you go. There's also no issue with giving everybody a bump and grind. But if you go off the circuit to the left here, you will get a half-second penalty. So keep the car on the track as we make our way around these corners. I'm just going to put the car to where I want it to be. If you cut the track to the right here, you will attract a penalty. And if you go too far to the right here, you'll get reset. As you can see, the acceleration, even with TC, is pretty decent. Then you've got to brake to slide into the corners, but we don't worry about that. This little Ford Focus has got the grind to go for it. Don't worry about bumping the AI. They're going to do much worse to you. Just wait for the car sometimes to come back round. The car does move with the TC1, so don't worry about the TC. It's there to help you. Oh, we're probably going to get penalised for that, but let's not worry. Going to chase these two boys down. We've got 8 laps to get this, so you've got plenty of time. They will give us a race to charge them down. Don't worry about using the gravel. We got a penalty there. Expected that, so I was just messing with the controls, but don't worry, we're not gonna really affect the race. See, they crunch each other. Look, the same car as this forced the Mustang into a situation. We'll just give him a bump wide just to really compound his problems. A half-second penalty isn't anything to worry about. It's just gonna be a little bit of a throttle lift. What TC1 will do is stop the car being thrown all over the place. It will get a bit leery later on. See if we can catch that focus back up. You've got to really put 2 wheels either side of the white line. No, don't put 4 wheels over the white line. You'll not survive a penalty at that point. You probably won't hear me there as I was leaning away from the microphone as I was leaning around the corner to help the car steer. Where body weight does affect you in this game, I'm afraid. If you lean in and out your seat, it helps you steer. That's what I tell the wife when she comes in and says, "What are you doing leaning?" It's the G-force, sweetheart. That's what it is. So we have the fastest lap of 46.1. Just going to try and catch this bad boy. So as you can see, the traction control does hold us back, but we've come all the way from last place. Oh, I almost got him. Brake early for the corners where you know you're going to slide in the dirt. Try not to cut this apex on the right, you will get penalised for it. It's a great little race, I do love this. It's also good with your friends when you're racing on a server at night on a little lobby. He won't get penalties though, the AI, so run him wide as much as you like, he won't suffer the way we do. That's the fastest lap of the race, a 46.42. He'll probably want to give us a tap as well for what we did to him, but let's not worry. Elbow room, get your... Oh, I've just attracted a penalty there. Definitely, I turned too early coming off the jump. Are we lucky enough to get away with that? Oh, we might be, you know. I think the penalty we got last time was a bit harsh, so... As we come down to complete lap 6. Traction control 1 doesn't impede you as much as you'd like to think it would. You don't need to have all 4 wheels spinning to keep this car on the circuit and make it move and do what you want it to. I might get reset here for this long drift. That's what you can make the car do with TC, so imagine what it's going to be like without TC if you really want to play and have fun and learn to explore the limits of car control, because that's what this race can give you. Brake in early, get the car turned, get it moving, get the throttle back down to give that acceleration. As we're playing though, we go slower and slower, so there's no fuel usage or tyre wear, so the car's not going to change its physics based on where it's going or what it's done. There's no real damage. You can't can't really influence the car in that way. There we have it. I just wanted to go there. The tyre temp does still affect the car though, so if you do slide the car a lot on the tarmac, you will lose grip because the tyre temp will go up. So just be aware of that when you see those tyres shining red. And here we go, through the line to finish and win the race. There it is. So that's with traction control. And whilst I appreciate lots of people tell you to turn it off, it can help you if you're one of those slower guys that just can't get to grips with the car. So try it, see which way you feel. As you can see there, 65,000 credits in the bank balance. And then you can watch the race if you want to afterwards. It's pretty decent. It's a really good little event. And if you play other games like Colin McRae or what's the other one? I'm looking for it now. Dirt 2.0, you've got this as a full game within those processes. So if you've played them, you'll know what you're doing. If you haven't played them, I can advise you to go out and buy it. It'll be on budget, but it is a really decent game. I didn't mean to. Yeah, here we go. We're going to replay. I'm just going to turn the traction control off now. And this will suit those people who can handle the car and know where it goes. But nothing else changes. As you can see, this is fully live. You'll see by the time in the top right-hand corner where we're going. So let's try it without TC. There's no false line start check. So false line start check. There's no start line false start check. Can't say it. However, keep up with them. You'll be quicker. You'll also have a bit more slide. So, as I said in the last race, don't go over to the left. You'll attract penalties. You can nerf the AI. Don't worry about it. Just let them have some. You'll see the AI do all sorts of manoeuvres around here. They'll shove and push. This car, the Ford Focus, is really short wheelbase, so it will really turn well. The longer wheelbase cars do give you a bit of an issue. The 205, not always the best car to use. We made it up to second place already. Look, Mr. Tapaye in the Mustang, he is going to give us a race. We know that. Tapaye. Would somebody tell me how to say that name? We just sneaked in there a bit, gave him a bit of a nerf. Oh, he's given us one back. Look at that. I love it from the AI. There he goes. He's off onto the gravel. The Ford Focus is back in front of us. Third gear for the traction as we come out the corner. Back on the brakes. Get it into that corner. Make it turn. Use the front end. Oversteer the front wheels. Drive the heat through that front right tyre. Get the car turning. Deliver the power smoothly. Just slam the throttle. It's fine. The car loves it. Let first gear have the revs. And the car will slide through here. Just pump your hands through the gears. When you're ready to go to the next level of acceleration and wheel spin, just get it through it. Change down the gears to force the cars through the corner. And let the car steer through the apex. We are racing on hard. We haven't changed it to easy or anything to make it easier. This is generally how you drive the car. In the other video where I tell you how to drive a rally car, I suggest don't use the brakes. There is very much a lot of gearing in this for slowing the car down, but we are using the brakes. You can see it, but not massive. I don't throw the brakes all the way to the floor. It's more the pedal on the throttle that does the acceleration, and then you use the slide of the car to turn into the slide, to turn into the corner, and the car will slow itself down naturally. And if you want to pump the throttle to drive a car through a corner, do so. There we go, halfway through the race almost, just doing that same routine. Get to the front, drive the car faster. We've done a 45.645. I think we were 46s, weren't we, in the other race? So lap times are faster without TC, but it's still capable of winning the race with TC on. So I do enjoy these races, as I've said. They are great with friends as well on a lobby. And there should be more of this type of circuit. There are many of them around the world. And it would be good if there was a real short track on the ice racing up at Lake Louise. Because it's no real different to the technique required. It's a form of rally racing, isn't it? So use first gear to get through there this time round. Turn the car, pump the throttle, second gear. You'll just drive through the corner. But if you want to make the car do the big drifts and the big slides, you can. If you feel you've got the confidence to keep the car under control, let it work it, let it do it. First gear, get the car to rotate. Second gear, lift the throttle to make it come round. Back on the throttle. We probably went like tri-leg there, didn't we? We had one leg off the ground, I think, as we came through that gravel. But you don't have to stress yourself for these races. They're relatively cool. If you are struggling, just get that TC on. You'll get more control of the car. If you're trying to do it clean and not bump the AI, which I admire you for, then you're probably going to find it a little bit harder to get past them. But I can assure you, they won't send lawyers round if you give them a bit of a dent. Just use them for what they are. They're opponents. And if you really like this and you've never looked, just have a look on YouTube. Have a look at some of the races that you see. They are absolutely awesome. They are 700 to 800 horsepower cars some of these guys are driving. And most of them are ex-rally drivers or dedicated autocross drivers that have serious car control skills. I mean, to be able to react to do what they're doing, and they don't have a co-driver or anything, it's purely driver versus circuit versus opponents. And I'm not using a handbrake. I don't recommend handbrake for GT7, for rally, etc. It's not necessary. You don't need to use it. Turning the car is done on the brakes with a bit of throttle. You don't need the handbrake. I mean, you don't need to go and spend £150, $150 on a handbrake. It's not essential. If you're driving on controller and you can select a handbrake button, it's up to you, isn't it? But it's not required. And there it is, folks. Relatively straightforward, I'm not going to say simple. It takes a little bit of car control, but it's possible with traction control 1, and it's possible without. 45.43 as the fastest lap, and again 65,000 credits into the bank. There you have it, folks. Do enjoy it. These weekly races I find really good. They get me to parts of the game that I wouldn't go back to. So if you've not actually got a game at 100%, these weekly races will really help you to get that game to where it needs to be. So hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you on the next one. All the best. Take care.